welcome to the Innermost Ramblings of Fiona, a podcast. I'm Fiona, surprise, surprise, and this is a space where I've decided to release some of the things that come from my innermost parts, my ramblings, as a podcast. It's been born from this space of discovering that I really like being out of voice memo, that a lot of the time I don't know my experience until I can talk about it. And then as I speak, I'm like, wow, there's a lot of truth in that. Wow, that was really pivotal for me. Wow. And yeah, I want to share that with the world. There's multiple reasons that I've started this podcast, and yeah, that's one of them. The connection piece that voice memos allows me to have with other people on a personal level, and now I'm wanting to release that at another level as a podcast, and also attending 12 steps and just the sharing of experience, strength and hope as people share unedited has been really helpful for me, because I just learn so much from listening to people talk about their experience. I can identify myself in that experience and learn from them. And again, other podcasts that do the same thing, where I just listen to someone's experience and I'm like, wow, I am taking so much away from someone else sharing honestly where they're at and how they experience the world, what their truth is. Maybe it's not my truth, but I can then work out what my truth is. So welcome to this podcast as I ramble, and I hope that it is a place that you can find yourself in, even if not in my experiences, but start to work out your own truth. Thank you for joining me. May you enjoy. From my heart to yours. Hello. I'm just going to do a bit of a rambling check-in. I've felt feelings check. Let's start with that. I've felt very like I can't settle in the present moment. Like there's something waiting, something I need to be doing, something, which causes clench, or maybe it's coming from the clench. It's kind of like I need to interrupt that feedback loop. And yeah, I've been able to do something that I've not done in a long time, which is draw. I realized, like so often I notice that I have this craving to do something, and because I want to do it, I then have to do all the chores. So I started washing the dishes and sweeping the floors and stuff today, and then I was like, do you know what, I actually want to draw, so I'm not going to do everything. I'm just going to do enough so that I've got the space to do what I want to do. And also not expect so much from myself in a drawing session. Like I actually can't draw all day and stay in my body. So breaking it up and realizing that I can do all the bits in a day. Like I can wash the dishes and draw and paint. Like it doesn't have to be a whole day of one thing. I don't have to do a day of chores. I don't have to do a day of painting or drawing or whatever it is. Like it all flows. It all belongs. Which feels new. The other thing that happened was I really felt like I got these dangly earrings from the op shop a couple months ago actually now, and they were all packed up in my stuff that I still haven't packed, or unpacked from moving, because I'm like, well, I intend to move again, and, well, it's not everyday wear clothes, so they ended up in there. But I actually went and unpacked them today because I just felt so drawn to wearing these earrings. And normally I'd be like, well, I'm not going anywhere. I don't need to adorn myself with pretty things. But I just realised that was the energy I wanted. I wanted to feel that prettiness and be at home by myself drawing. And that was just enough. Like, I can wear pretty things and do the dishes. I don't have to be wearing, I guess I'm very programmed, like, wear your raggy daggy clothes around the house, and only when you're going out should you adorn yourself in something different, with something different. And just to, like, notice what happened in my body and for myself. Like, it wasn't for anyone else. And so often like always, it's like, well, how do I want to dress? Who am I dressing for? And to realize that, like, so often I dress to be invisible, or to not cause a brother to stumble. We went to a Christmas do, and I was given this dress by a friend, and this dress, I feel like a goddess in this dress. Seriously, it's like, when she gave it to me, she was like, it looks like a temple goddess dress. Like, it's just short at the front, long at the back, flowy. Like, I just think, like, well, it makes me think of a snake, and like this beautiful movement of flow, and but also like hips swaying, and I don't have words, but I feel really good in it. And I wore that dress, and I was like, man, I feel like a goddess. I feel good. And I said to my mum, like, do you feel good in what you're wearing today? She's like, what? Why would it? That doesn't even come into how I think about getting dressed. I just wore something that I thought would be practical for today. And that is the programming I'm coming from. And just to have this shift of, like, I mean, I know how different clothes make me feel, and I know that sometimes I want to feel a particular way, so I'll wear a particular thing, and vice versa. I feel a particular way, so I'll wear something that emulates that. Good and bad, expressive and unexpressive, dimming my shine and allowing it to shine, both ways. But just, like, realizing that I get to wear what feels good around the house when there's no one else around. Like, I do very much wear the same thing for a week, so I don't have much to wash. I mean, I change my underwear every day, but yeah. So I just feel like they're little shifts, but they're so not little. They're huge for me. The other thing that's come up today has been this realization of how I interact with male-bodied beings, the masculine energy, and just how threatening and unsafe it feels. Which is interesting. Like, I think all of these shifts inside me, I have always been a bit of a tomboy, like one of the guys, and that's how it was safe to exist with the guys. Like, there wasn't any potentiality that I would be attractive or attracted to them. Like, everyone's just a mate or a brother, and that's how I protected myself. Whereas now I'm embodying this feminine flow and this gift of beauty that I incarnated into. Like, I chose this body, and I'm coming to see her and feel her as more beautiful and more attractive, and that feels really good when it's just me. But I'm not really sure how to exist in a world where my programs tell me that guys aren't safe, because I don't think logically that guys aren't safe. It's come up in discussions on Instagram. I follow an Instagram page, and they were just talking about Instagram account and they were talking about like the anxiety that comes from and around purity culture and leaving purity culture, like the leftover programs that are so deeply entwined in the subconscious. And I'm a purity culture dropout, so I'm still processing a lot of that stuff, but I've realised today, like, I am so programmed that every guy is, like, just always thinking about sex, and at any opportunity will take advantage of me. So, like, it's always my fault. I should always be dressed in a potato sack so as to keep myself safe. And just now that I'm learning and feeling what it feels like to just be in my body, I'm not really sure how to be in this body when there's guys around. How to be friends with guys. I recently was living with, my housemate was a guy, and in a relationship with someone else. And I still felt very unsure, very tentative, very, like, I didn't see him as anything more than a friend, didn't feel anything, but there was just this, like, fear and trepidation, and I felt myself kind of avoiding and moving away from him, not knowing how to traverse it. Like, I think there's probably other wounding that comes up, like being too much of a friend with guys, not having those clear boundaries, being emotionally enmeshed as a codependent perhaps, or just not understanding attraction and what that feels like for me, because there was no safe space to acknowledge attraction or explore that or get to know that within myself. So I guess that's part of what I'm getting to know at the moment, to be honest. Like, maybe I'm attractive and maybe that's okay. And maybe I'm attracted to other people and what that feels like. And maybe all of those sensations are okay. Like, right now, to acknowledge attraction in my body sends my body into fight, flight, or freeze. I just can't breathe normally. I don't really know how to respond. There is definitely like this unsafe run reaction that happens within me, and like, run, get out of there. This person is unsafe. And I don't know that that person is unsafe. I think it's more that this is how I was programmed, or how I learned to respond to any sort of attraction in my body, so that I felt safe, so that I could deal with the deal with it. Deal with it in a way that purity culture said was okay. Yeah, and it all terrifies me, to be honest. That my attraction could be a pure and good and healthy thing is almost unfathomable. But the fact that I can talk about this with words now, that was unfathomable probably even 6 months ago. This year has been, or this past year has been, has offered me some situations that have been very uncomfortable, but gifts as far as like, here, feel this. And just exploring and acknowledging and watching, I guess being on the receiving end of someone being attracted to me and, feeling really uncomfortable by that. Feeling like I'm sinning, like I'm the bad guy for somehow not staying invisible. And to speak that out loud, like that's a really hard thing to carry in my body all the time. There's not freedom and flow in that. And that is definitely how I feel around attraction, around my own attraction to someone else and around someone else's attraction towards me, which makes relationships near impossible. Even like to be friends with females that are socially and culturally beautiful, I'm just like, God, why would they want to be friends with me? Which is to be opening all these boxes and realizing like I'm so programmed to focus on the body but not be in my body, which is like, to put that in words, like there's so much focus on my body but I'm not living in my body, I'm not moving in my body, I'm not treating my body with love, unless she looks a certain way, rather than being like, no, this is where my intuition is, this is where my home is, this is where my knowing is, this is where my life force flows from. Like, there is no other place that I can experience this physical world from. And I said earlier, I chose this body, and I'm learning to see well, I chose the lessons that I needed to learn in this body. And yeah, there's a lot of privilege that I've grown up with, and I mean, I have skinny privilege for one, but that's caused its own issues in its own way. So, yeah, I guess I've always felt very apologetic that I'm skinny and would assume that people in different sized bodies to me would just hate me. Yeah. So I'm unraveling this, and part of that is just giving words to it, speaking it, being like, man, there's so much shame and so much confusion and so much fear and programming around all of this. I really kind of question, what is attraction? Like, is it a physical thing? Am I attracted to a physical body, or is it like something deeper? Why do I gravitate and feel more at home with particular people? Like even female friends, like, to take attraction as a platonic thing. Like, why am I finding myself more at home in particular circles of friends than other people? Is that programming? Is that where I feel safe is that, like, what is that makes the difference? Like, man, talking about this stuff makes me so teary. And yet, I know that talking about it is part of the process of healing. Like, unconstructing, deconstructing these things that so often just play themselves out without me even realizing that they're a program or a thing or a something taking up space in my energetic world and how I see the world, how I relate to every single thing, myself, the world around me. Like, it's just everywhere. And I guess bringing awareness to that and gentleness and acceptance and, like, yeah, I'm excited that this can all unravel itself as it presents itself as something that exists for me and around me and in me. So my thoughts today, I might leave it there. Thank you for being on this journey of thought voyaging. It's like I get this picture of, like, sitting on the ocean and we're sailing through my thoughts. Yeah, if anything resonates with you, I'd love to hear from you, or if you have anything to add, yeah, find me. Again, thanks. Bye. Well, there you have it. Another episode of the innermost ramblings of Fiona. Thanks for coming along for the ride and listening to things that are dear to me, close to my heart, sometimes uncomfortable to share. I hope there's been something that you could identify and take away, or that you just got to know me a little better. If you would like to find me, I am on Instagram at @IAM_embodied expression, or I am Fiona __. Or you can email me, or you can download the Anchor app and voice memo me, which is kind of exciting. Yeah, and I'll leave it there. May you have a good evening, morning, day. From my heart to yours. Ashe.